What's up, world? Carl Shepard here, checking in for episode 17. I want to throw a word out there and just kind of see how it sticks. Stigma. What is stigma? How does how does it form around a certain topic? How do the powers that be use stigma as a tool to control groups of people? That's what I've been thinking about today. That's what I've been thinking about, or at least that's what's stuck. Fear? Is that what it is? Are people scared? People get comfortable and maybe for the first time in their lives finally see a halfway clear vision of how they may live a safe life to get to an old age and maybe be able to halfway act like they have something to show for it at the end, and they just want to hang on to that no matter the inconsistencies that arise along the way. And so then things that challenge the status quo, ideas, movements, plants, somehow or another just don't fit into the master equation by someone's terms. And so what is it? What do they do? How is it done? How do you develop a stigma? What is that? I think that some people are more susceptible to certain things than other people. I have trouble comprehending some of these things. It's always been said, like, oh, you shouldn't care about what other people think, or so on and so forth, and that's really a motivational tool for for everybody. And so to me that is so intuitive. It's just like saying, put one foot in front of the other, or you can do it, or some of these just extreme generalities that are so commonplace and there's nothing really behind it. But with that one, I'm starting to think like there's a lot behind it, because if somehow or another you can install fear of not being accepted, or fear of being rejected, or just even fear of danger into a group of people, regardless of the logic that it takes to hold on to that stigma, once it's there, it's powerful. And it's weird. It's difficult to like break through. You can't use logic and reason, facts or the lack thereof. It's like somebody will see a mountain of evidence in front of them and miss it for like this tiny little anthill of evidence that's a little closer to them. It's like when something's really close to you, it can be small, but it can look as big as something way off in the distance, which is huge. That's an interesting way to explain this thing. It's like we've drug America so far in a certain direction that when we look around, there are these obvious truths that are so far removed from where we are right now as a culture that they look kind of small because of the distance we've traveled in this short amount of time. And then there's these new things, these like false idol, people that their entire skill in life is to mislead and to figure out ways to generate some kind of a message that has hope and provides hope, I guess I should say, and allows these groups of people to hang on to these preconceptions, these notions, these ideologies, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's interesting. It's very very interesting. This is a wonderful time to be alive. But I really like the idea of attacking and destroying social stigmas um, around lots of different things that currently are persistent in our society. The marijuana thing is one of them. I've got personal experience. I'm here to tell you, I can give somebody a roadmap, step by step. You know, don't take those prescription pills. Don't listen to the people saying you're a victim. Let's get over here. Let's stabilize yourself. Let's bring it down a couple of notches. Let's remove some of the chatter. And let's start talking. Let's start getting real. And let's start affecting the things that we can affect. And let's learn how to separate our emotional responses from the things that we cannot change. That's tough. It's tough, and it doesn't happen overnight. There's no easy way out of it. And so when you live in a culture that is constantly willing to give somebody a scapegoat, constantly willing to believe your excuses, you know, there's benefit of the doubt, and then there is detrimental echo chamber nonsense. It's very interesting times, and I just want to spend my time trying to bring truth out into the light, you know, to just shed light on all this stuff that I feel like is being gobbled up by some ideological, politically motivated machine. It's like a weird underbelly of the internet. It's like manifested itself or something. I don't know. We're so connected as human beings. It's a wonderful time. We've got the fewest. You know, we're raising people out of poverty all over the world. We're you know, creating these AI that collect all this stats, and we're looking at it honestly and talking about it. I mean, I understand that there's reason to have outrage when we finally look all this stuff in the face, but it's always been there, and it's been worse. It's been way worse. I think that touches me, or I think that I just grew up in a way different situation than a lot of these people that I'm currently interacting with. I understood from an early age how fragile life is and how dangerous life is, and the value of community, the value of a society where the vast majority of people are willing to be neighborly, put themselves out there. Like, we pay our taxes in this country, y'all. Like, nobody does that. Like, you know, there's this concept at one time in America where your word was everything you had. Like, the honor and the respect that you could garner through always keeping your word and always being ready to help your neighbor and be there for your community and be selfless. That used to be like, those people were considered the ones to follow. And now it's backwards. It's like the opposite. It's like, if you can be the most ruthless, savage, like sociopathic personality type that's ready to just leapfrog over people, just sticking them in the back along the way, you get celebrated. or at least it's shunned to the side. It's looked past, and I'm not about that. Like, I'm not. I am so not about that. That as I like trying to figure out ways to grow myself, I just get like this massive urge to just devise a way to help people understand how important personal responsibility over one's own life is, and how that the trials and tribulations and the worst moments of someone's life, the things that you did not do to yourself, the things that were like forced on you or was just baked into the pie of your life that you can't control, those are your opportunities to mold yourself, to carve yourself out of this reality and develop character, develop something that people can respect. There's a vibe that you can't get away from. I'm here to tell you, 80% of communication is body language, and if you're paper thin, people can hear your words, and if you live in a PC culture, then you're gonna be able to survive, I guess, during that time. But you're rolling the dice that there's nothing else out there. That we are just this weird meat sack on this planet out in the middle of nowhere, and that this particular like reality or whatever, you're just, as soon as the brain was formed enough, you could start thinking, and as soon as it shuts off, you're done, and there's no other consequences out there. Go on and keep believing that, you know, because I've called myself an atheist my whole life, but I've always understood some kind of spirituality, some kind of, that consciousness is something that is different than the physical world. Like that there's energy out there that we just don't understand, and that we just need to be humble enough to know that nobody's got it all figured out. Nobody. And to try to just say that this is the only game in town, I mean, good luck with that. Like, good luck with that, because I just have so much personal experience now this far in my life. I'm fixing to turn 34 in just a couple of days, and I don't even know. I'm unpacking this myself. This is my way of like trying to find the words to say. But you know, the one thing I am convinced is that there's something to believe in. There's a reason, absolutely, to want to live that best life. Be the best version of yourself. Pass something on to the previous or the next generation. And to strive to kind of cultivate some kind of a higher level of consciousness. There's something, I just think there's something else out there that we can tap into. And to be completely honest, the reason that stigma stuck in my head originally, the first time it came into my world today, was on social media, on a psilocybin post. I read the comments and it's like, oh, well, it's a slippery slope. Somebody was like, oh, well, you know, this doesn't seem like a good idea to put in front of addicts, which you don't know what you're talking about, because when you wake up from a mushroom trip, the last thing you want to do is do that again. It's emotionally draining, it's stressful, and if you're doing it correctly, especially for like the exploratory, you know, mind therapeutic type stuff, it's a workout. I mean, it's tough to get through something like that, and then you need to you know, it takes a while to unpack. So this is not like some kind of a recreational thing. And dosing and environment kind of come into that, you know, to make it full circle if you're really trying to get something healthy out of it. You're not going to get something healthy out of it if you eat 1.5 grams or 2 grams at a fucking concert or something. You might just laugh your ass off, and that's not going to be the same thing. But then stigma came up. It's like, oh, but what will people think? Or like, oh, you know, stigma. I don't even remember. I had to just, I just moved on after that. I think I might have said something, but and it stuck in my head from then. And then, have you ever noticed how when something comes into your universe and in the day, I don't know, maybe you just notice it again and again, or my days have themes sometimes. Like I feel like I accidentally plucked the wrong, you know, guitar chord, energy wise of the universe. Like resonate something out and it makes waves, and then I see the result of that throughout um, the next period of time. And anyway, it brought me back to stigma because it is something to do with my own personal experimentation with hallucinogenics that brought me leaps and bounds in a shorter amount of time. Like, I'm from a situation where statistically this should not be the case. Like, what's going on with my life right now should not be the case. And as I just realized exactly how much potential, or how much, like, just the high likelihood of thriving, and how, like, clear-minded I am right now. Even I've been around all these bomb blasts, and I've done drugs, and I've just, it was terrible in my body for a decade, just basically trying to get myself killed in, like, the most real sense, like past the front lines enemy contact. My unit just got an award, like, that was brought full circle, and that's real deal. Like, should have died, should have died, should have died, should have died. Not like one time in a tour or something. I'm talking about 2 years of, more than 3 missions a week, if not like the whole week being out and coming home and just doing some of the most ridiculous things, just thrill-seeking behavior, driving fast, four-wheelers and jet skis and stuff. And I don't know, at a certain point, something just clicked, and it's like, well, good job, I don't know, like, why are you still here? Like, what is this all about? And I kind of turned around and realized that there was a lot going on in the world that I could affect positively. It's like I want to give back. I don't know. I just want to be a really positive influence, and I kind of trailed off there for a sec, but man, people who people who use stigma and say, oh, well, don't listen to this guy because he uses drugs, or don't listen to this guy because of some kind of thing. What that is that's fear. They don't understand what the other person's up to. Maybe if they were interested in actually being real, they would come and say, oh, well, let me just examine this and see what's there, because I don't want to make this giant false assumption up front without actually understanding anything about it. It takes just years and years of beating down the FDA and getting these, like, super high Ivy League universities to finally start doing some studies, and then they realize, oh wait, this is great. This is helping people with cancer, terminal cancer. It's helping people with other terminal diseases that they were, like, super fearful of dying, and now all of a sudden they're just, like, ready to get it on, or veterans with PTSD, other victims that have PTSD. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways. And I'm back. All right, so I just got cut off. My phone gave me the dreaded out of storage message. Apparently I've been putting so much video on my phone this month that I had to go in and look at those settings. I deleted quite a bit, but I didn't even realize how close that was, so knocked me off my train of thought and everything. I was speaking on PTSD. I said that lots of different types of people can have PTSD, and that I was going towards talking about how that there should be no stigma around doing some sort of experimental new treatments on people when the shit that we're already doing to them is insane. So I'm just gonna leave it at that because I was off my train of thought. And just to finish my check-in, um, my fitness is going fantastic. I got this jiu-jitsu tournament coming up. My diet's all wrapped into that. I did eat quite a bit of food today. I'm right on my weight. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no way I'm not going to weigh in right. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep it up. And I'm trying to focus my eating right now on recovery because I'm not cutting. I'm where I need to be within a pound or two. So, I'm probably just like a couple days before, and you'll hear all about it again because that's going to be during the time. But that I'm doing this project still. But I'll just change a few little things, not eat as much salt for like a little while, and the sleep factor, I'm getting ready to go to sleep, and that's gonna be fantastic. My mood, I mean, I'm just getting all positive feedback on that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I was definitely just way more like, I don't even know, reserved and like out of it or whatever before. And now like I'm clearing up and people are seeing it, and that's cool. But one thing that I should point out about that is that that was for a reason. Like I'm in the headspace that I'm in now because I've had this time to get here. Like I wasn't this it wouldn't have been possible any other time. Like I'm right now I'm in the best version of myself in every single way that I could possibly be in. And part of that is the journey to get there. Like there's no way that if I had done it any different that I would get the same result. So yeah. And now oh man, it's building time. It's getting ready to be I mean we're still consolidating. I'm still consolidating right now, but it's getting ready to be building time. So exciting. Man, it sucks getting cut off track like that. I'm just gonna have to put this small little video on the end of the larger one and just put this episode out there with the big flaw in it. There's no way I'd try to go back and redo my whole little ramble. I mean, it was decent. You know, I feel good about it. Obviously, I haven't even seen it, but it came from a real place. It came from a place that, you know, I'm trying to sharpen. And so the only way to do that is just pounding these reps out. And it's working. I can fucking feel it. I've been trying not to cuss in these videos. Always gotta work on something. Anyway, good night. We'll see you again soon.